Freeman. 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 Hickey. Logan. Logan. Newquist. Ortiz. Pretzel. Pretzel. Trinier. Van Dyne.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. First off, I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda. I would like to move the sensory bus presentation to the very beginning. The whole Tina Mackey team, 708 board. I'd like to move the presentations to the very beginning. And then after that, we will have a tour of the bus outside at the very end of the meeting, and we will adjourn outside if you guys are willing to stay. So I have a motion on the floor. I have a second by Mr. Butler. Any discussion on moving the agenda items? Roll call.
Richmond. Williams. Butler. Freeman. Hickey. Logan. Newquist. Ortiz. Trinier. Van Dyne.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. So once again, I'd like to welcome Tina Mackey up, the Will County Community Mental Health 708 Board Quarterly Update. Good afternoon, and thank you for your patience. If you,
There we go.
there we go.
Right? Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you to present our quarterly report. We do have a PowerPoint. It's coming up. So yeah, so I appreciate a few minutes of your time. As you know, we're in our inaugural grant cycle, our 2025 grant cycle. We accepted applications for grant applications January 2nd to February 14th. Grant announcements and awards were made April 15th. And so now we begin working with our grantees, our grant partners to monitor the expenditures, monitor the spending of those grant dollars. And then also really important, we begin our partnerships to help create awareness for those programs and services that the 708 board has helped to fund. At the April 14th board meeting, the Mental Health Board passed a resolution, and we'll see it here in a minute. Pass a resolution to award those grant dollars at a price of $5,015,282. Those grant dollars were awarded for 42 grant applications from 39 different agencies. There we go. Back one right there's fine. So again, our Will County Mental Health Board, we've had some changes in the what am I trying to say? The officers in our board. Elnilyn Costa, a Will County board member, as well as now our president. Pat Mead is our vice president. Terry King, treasurer. Jessica Parks is secretary. And then other members to round out the board: Ashley Searing, Katrina Jones, Juhi Fahim, Tessa Quinlan, who's actually here today. Thank you, Tessa. And Christina Centeno is the Will County Community Mental Health Board. And so we've invited here today four of our grantees who come and give you some information about their award, their grant program, and have some insight into how valuable these grant dollars are and how they will benefit the residents, direct services to residents of Will County. So as Mr. Van Dyne said, we will get some information about the sensory bus. We won't go see that right now, but we'll have that available at the conclusion of the business meeting. So Melissa Jensen and Tom Kraus, if you folks could come up, and they're going to give us a little bit of information of the value of this sensory bus. It's a pretty neat facility.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tom Kraus with Lincoln Way Special Rec Association. Just a little background on Lincoln Way Special Rec. If you're not familiar, we're an extension of 8 park districts. So we serve New Lenox, Mokina, Frankfurt Square, Manhattan, Peatone, Wilmington, and Crete park districts. We have a rec center in New Lenox, Illinois, and provide recreational programs for individuals with disabilities age 2 through adulthood. So we offer a lot of different things throughout the year, and we're obviously very excited. We have our first sensory bus that we fundraised for, and we just got it this week. So that's the one out front. You'll be able to check it out. And this grant will help us get a second one, and it's a chance to actually take our sensory room, like we have in our facility, out into the community and help benefit all kinds of different, events that happen in our Will County area. So Melissa can touch base on the benefits of the sensory bus and what we plan to do with it.
So just like Tom said, we do serve 8 different member districts here in Will County, and our growth has been tremendous. So we do have our own facility, which has a sensory room, but we are using different park districts in the area, schools, and this bus will actually let us go out to different sites too, so that our participants that we serve can have appropriate breaks, so that they can recenter themselves and hopefully have a very successful time. So we will be in our park districts doing events too, those larger events, and we will be doing it for rent, okay, for different partners and community members in the area too, so that we can make sure that we're serving as many people as we can.
And I think it may be a good idea after all the presentations, if we want to hold our questions, maybe that opportunity will take place when we're out visiting the bus. We can grab the presenters individually and ask your questions then if that's okay with the board. Thank you.
All right. Next, we have Mental Health Matters. Katie Diaz-Hughes was here. She just had to leave to go pick up a youngster from school, but Mental Health Matters, a really interesting program. It started a couple of years ago. Katie and a few other counselors that work in counseling services in Will County encountered many times families or individuals who don't start therapy services or counseling services, or their services are interrupted because of the copay associated with fees attached to services. So, for example, a family, maybe their youngster or some member of the family needs to participate in counseling services, and maybe they have insurance, but the copay, is $30, $40, $50, and if they're seeing that counselor weekly, that adds up pretty quickly. And so often families might get started and then decide, we're just not financially able to support this, or in some cases don't start at all. Mental Health Matters, since the April 15th award, they have moved 25 Will County families off the waiting list into counseling services, and folks who live in Will County now, when they come for services, they get right into support. They don't have to go to the waiting list. So they have already very quickly made an impact, again, with direct services in the community. And she's going to come back in September, so she'll talk more about it. The Wilmington Coalition, Paula Ekstrom, and I need to be really careful, Jessica Schnitger are here to give us a little bit of information about their organization and their program.
Good afternoon. So we actually go at the mental health with the funds that we got through the grant in several different directions. We have 2 groups of kids that we specifically work with, the tobacco-free teens and the middle school, and we have the CAT crew that are in the high school. At the middle school, and now I know I said tobacco and some of you are going, it's mental health, but we have a group of kids that we're working with 8th grade that are working on policy change, and we'll be presenting to the school board in August. And part of that is that when a 11, 12, 13-year-old child is already battling the grips of an addictive substance such as the nicotine, that there is probably something else going on in their lives. So as a second offense in a tobacco, the kids came up with, they might need some mental health help. And help, maybe they need help in teaching relaxation. Maybe they need help in battling whatever demons are going on. So they have this packet, and I'm going to hold it up and you're going to be like, what? But this is a worksheet that while they're doing the time, which would be an after-school detention or an in-school suspension, this, instead of letting them do whatever, this is a packet that they would work on reducing your stress, kind of getting to know why am I doing something that is this bad for me and is getting me in trouble. And so it's just a small thing, but it can make a big difference as they get older. So without the grant money, they will all have workbook that they can do. And that's one of the things. And I'm going to let Jessica talk about what's going on with the CAT crew.
Hi, I am Jessica Schnicker. I am representing CAT Crew for this. CAT Crew stands for Community Action Team, and we work throughout our entire school and outside in our just general town of Wilmington to provide any sort of resources or help or just spread the word about many different things that we care about, whether that's substance abuse or domestic or just mental health struggles in general. One of our more recent things that we've been starting to do this year is work a lot with our Fortitude group in the high school. They are an anti-bullying group within the high school that talk a lot about mental health struggles and bullying, or they have speakers come in and talk about what things we can do in the school to maybe help change the stigma around mental health or help change the bullying situation going on. In Wilmington specifically, our mental health resources are really lacking. We have one provider that takes state insurance and another one that only takes private insurance. As someone who has struggled with mental health a lot, it sucked having to drive 45 minutes to go to therapy once a week. And the grant money that the coalition is getting through this stuff is going to help provide so much more coverage and support and get more people who can provide those resources to kids and help end the struggles that have been happening. 2 kids have died from suicide attempts in Wilmington in the last 3 years. And they were people that I very much personally knew. The more help we can get, the more it's going to matter. So that's what this grant is affecting a lot of. And getting that help is really important to me. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our fourth grantee is Lauren Paymer, and she'll introduce some of the folks that are here with her today. They're from the Hive in Mokina, and they provide services for intellectually developmentally disabled folks. We had occasion to visit the Hive last week, and just fantastic program. And again, meet some of those gap in services particularly for folks who have aged out of some of the other programs that are available.
Hi, my name is Lauren Pammer. I am the owner and founder of the Hive Day program. I do have a couple special guests with me. Do you want to say your name?
Okay. My name's Cassie.
Cassie is one of our members. We also have Jess and then Rachel Ponzi, which is our Hive Day program coordinator. So a little bit about our program is we are looking at empowering our adults with disabilities, looking at promoting independence, but also creating a supportive and inclusive environment. One of our things with our adults that we serve is that a lot of times when they age out of high school, there's not really a program for them to go, and a lot of their skills that they have are lost. So we want to be that continuation for when they age out of high school. A little bit about our company as we officially were a 501c3 in July of 2023. We were practicing under a different name, and then we officially switched over to the Hive Day program, which a lot of our foundational skills that we work on is vocational skills and then also life skill training for our members. Some of the demographics of our members are our oldest is 47 and our youngest is 22. We have a variety of disabilities that we accept into our program. Currently, right now, we have 36 members. Out of the 36, 80 are Will County residents. We are starting this summer with 4 trials for them to come into our program. Out of the 4 trials, 100% of them are Will County residents. And currently, I think when we applied for the grant, we had 12 on our waiting list, and we have 14, and the 12 also counted the 4 that are doing our trials. Out of the 16 that we have on our waiting list, we have 62% that are Will County. We do have weekly, if not multiple times a week, tours that come in that want to enroll in our program. A lot of our focus areas is we focus on skill development, which is the vocational skills and life skills. We also look at the program. Our program is kind of unique because it is run by speech therapists and occupational therapists and special education teachers. We are equipped with a full kitchen, washer and dryer, and our program, the way that we have it set up is that we want to provide them with the hands-on experience that a lot of times in schools and at different clinics, they will do mock training where we actually have a full functioning kitchen and full functioning washer and dryer. The impact that we have is every month we try to go out into the community. A lot of times the inclusion for our adults is very limited. So we want them to be exposed to what a typical 30-year-old, 40-year-old, or even 20-year-old are exposed to. One of the things that we also do is we volunteer at local community organizations with the library, different restaurants in the area, and different businesses. We also create crafts that we sell at local craft vendors and craft fairs. This is just some of the happy stories that we have there. I know that a couple slides, I'm going to ask Cassie some questions so you guys could hear what she gets motivated by and why she loves the Hive program. We are very appreciative for the grant. The grant is going to help us with our transportation. Right now, we have a van that's not wheelchair accessible. So with this grant, it will help us provide either 1 to 4, or 1 to 4. We're pushing for 4 wheelchair accessible bus that we would want. We are looking at using different software and equipment. We want to also continue to do the community integration as well as providing staffing and training for our staff. Our future planning that we have is we continuously want to grow with us being a newer program and seeing the need. We know that we can't currently service everybody, but that is our goal, that we want to continue to grow so that we can provide all of our resources and everything for the community. And just kind of the last 2 slides that I have is just kind of a little bit of research, especially if you're not in the special needs community, not understanding the limitations that they have. So 80% of adults with disabilities are unemployed. 70% of adults with disabilities still live with their parents. So especially with the aging population with the parents, it's hard for them to take care of their adults. And then 17% of adults with disabilities are enrolled in the post-secondary education. So Cassie, the question that I have for you is, Cassie is part of our advanced life skills. So we have a partnership with a wholesaler in Lockport. So Cassie's job is to
Towels.
package towels. And what do you do after you package the towels?
Write a package.
You put we put a sticker on it, right?
Stickers.
And how many have you done? Have you done 1 or have you done 100?
100.
We have done 100. So the partnership that we currently have, it's a total of 350 packages that I thought we had to do, but thank goodness we don't have to do that. So I appreciate your time and everything and getting to know the Hive Day program. Thank you. Yeah. Oh,
Just a quick one. Where are you located?
we are in Mokina.
Okay, I didn't catch that
Oh,
on the
that's
first
okay.
go around.
Yep. So if you're familiar with Mokina, we're at 195th and LaGrange. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you. So those are examples of 4 of our grantees. I have on our Will County Mental Health Board web page, there is a link. It says grantee award, something to that effect. There is a listing of all of the grantees, just a sentence or two about their application, the program that they'll be implementing, and then the dollar amount that they've received. And I've got a little QR code if somebody needs that to go right to that page. And I want to really emphasize something that Lauren said. Yeah, I've worked in mental health and developmental disabilities for many years, and there's I won't say lots of funding, but there is funding available for young people who have challenges and programming. But once a person reaches 21 and a half, 22 years old, and families, those of you that have loved ones or have folks that you know that are in the circumstance, families refer to that age literally as the cliff. You know, you really go off a cliff. All of a sudden, there is no funding available, not for employment services or day programs or recreation leisure time services, those kinds of things. And so the 708 board, the mental health funding, this is a good example at the Hive, will be available for that. We visited another grantee earlier in the week, Little Friends, and the mental health funding is specifically going to be helpful for respite programs. So again, some of those gap services that aren't available for funding in other areas that are so important. We've got families who have said, you know, the respite services, you know, 2, 3, 4 hours a week doesn't seem like much, but, you know, Mom told me that the day that we visited, you know, instead of us being the family at the grocery store with the kid that's always screaming and yelling and running through the aisles, I get to be the mom who's just grocery shopping and doing that task for my family, while my young person is having a much better experience at respite. They're with people they're similar age and being able to participate in recreation, leisure time services, and sometimes even siblings go along and socialize with other siblings in the family. So again, that peer support. You are not alone. This is happening with other families and those kinds of things. Another mom literally said to me, this respite services, swear to God, saved my marriage. You know, it gave us an opportunity to be, you know, have some of these normal family times. While again, our loved one is having productive, positive experiences as well. So really good information about the intellectual developmental disabilities population and some of those things that we're funding. And again, on the website, there's a webpage, there's a little bit more detail about that. So our reporting requirements are the end of our first quarter is July 15th. And so we're coming up on that quicker than I had hoped because we want summer to slow down. But so on or before July 15th, our grantees can apply for that first quarter reimbursement. Our grants are reimbursements. And so there's performance requirements. There's a performance report that they will complete in our Amplifund software program that will give us very specific information about participants and Will County residents, how many, and exactly what the money is, how the money is being implemented. At the same time, we're pretty aggressive with going out in the community. We've met with a dozen or so organizations so far, and we're really starting to see the foundations build of some of these grant dollars that have been awarded. So I'm really excited about the reporting for July 15th. They'll fill out the reporting requirements and then accompany that with receipts or payroll reports or timesheets, et cetera, making them eligible for the first quarter reimbursement. And then it will go forward in a similar fashion from there. Just a little bit of overview about the budget. We have already made our December payment, or our 2025, fiscal year 2025 payment to the Will County Health Department of $3.75 million. And I think the Will County Health Department does a pretty good job reporting the changes and growth of their behavioral health division based on the money that has been made available to them. Roughly $4 million will be collected from the May and October levy. Our grant award commitment, again, in our resolution, we awarded $5,015,282, and I think actually some cents, but I rounded it. And then our fiscal year 2025 operating budget is $347,000, which is less than 4% of our overall budget, but I am confident that when all is said and done in this fiscal year, we'll be significantly below that $347,000. I look forward to reporting that effort. We're just now beginning to talk about budgets and that, so we're just now starting to work with. In fact, my budget meeting is at 2:00. I think I'm just going to make it. And so anyway, again, I'm thrilled to report some information to you. Thank you for your time. If someone does have a question, I'm happy to answer it. And then at the conclusion of the meeting, we look forward to seeing you at the sensory bus.
Judy?
Tina, I just want to say thank you for bringing the information forward. It's exciting to see what grantees received it and what they're going to be doing with the dollars, because it's always like, what's going to happen when
Sure.
you have money given to you. So I like that a lot. And I like the fact that you're out in the community. The only other thing, and I don't know if your website has or not, it'd be great to have like a map of Will County and see where
Oh,
we
okay.
have provided grants to, and then, maybe if an area is empty, we look and say, well, is there somebody there that
Sure.
might apply? So.
Sure. Yeah, great idea. We're also working on we don't want to spend a lot of money on pens or, tchotchkes. We don't provide services. We fund the folks that provide services. So we're hesitant to spend money on those kinds of things. But I think we are working on a small promotional piece so that there's a little bit of information about the Mental Health Board and that QR code. So people can go to that list and see exactly what's being funded. So many times I get calls or I have conversations in the community with people say, my son is struggling with this, my spouse, my friend, my colleague. And sometimes there are services available for some of those challenges and people just don't know about it. So I think a promotional piece with the QR code that identifies the programs and services would be helpful.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. You're not going to spend a ton of money on it.
Right.
The only other question then would be, so you've got, this is our first year of a grant awards. Can these same recipients apply for next year, or do we have restrictions on that? Like, some might apply because they wanted a bus, right? They just wanted a bus.
Right.
And they don't need any extra help. They've got the funds, whatever. So that makes sense, but some might have a reoccurring, like the Hive, I would be somebody, I think that could always use those dollars, and I'm sure there's others. So is there restrictions there? Or?
No restrictions. We've absolutely approached the grant cycle as a single annual grant cycle. However, we are awarding dollars with the hope that we'll be able to roll out, programs that are newly established and hiring staff. Those are programs that we're really hopeful that we're going to be able to provide sustaining programs and services in those areas. So again, we are approaching it as a 1 year, but we've always got that in mind, that we want to be able to, and so that's part of the reason why we didn't do any capital programs, because we don't want to chew up big chunks of that money. We really want to sustain the ongoing expansion of programming and gap services to folks that live in Will County.
I agree with Member Ogala. It was really nice to see, you bringing in the folks that actually use the money and explain how it's being used. So thank you so much for bringing them in. Thank you all for your patience. We
Yeah,
had
thank
quite-
you very
quite
much
the
for
morning. Thank
hanging
you
in
for
there.
sticking around. And that's all I have. So thank you for that. And we'll see you outside in say 7 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
Thank you. sir.
Thank you. All right. Looking for a motion to approve the Will County Executive Committee Board Agenda Setting Meeting, May 8th. Motion Butler. Second Ortiz. Any discussion? Do we need a roll? I think we need a roll on that, please.
Richmond. Richmond. Williams. Butler. Freeman. Hickey. Newquist. Ortiz. Trinier. Van Dyne.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion carries. Thank you. 2 items under old business. Number 1, looking for a motion to authorize approval of the form of contract for acquisition by the county of certain parcels of real property situated along Governor's Highway and Hellman subdivision in the village of Monee. Previous Freeman, seconded by Williams. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? That motion will carry. Number 2, 15977 River Valley Detention Center. This was forwarded by the Finance Committee to the Executive Committee, I believe with a unanimous decision. Looking for a motion. Motion by Ortiz, seconded by Freeman. Previous roll Butler, second Hickey. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And is there anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. No other old business. So moving on to new business. Looking for a motion to designate Staff Opening Meetings Act and Freedom of Information Act officers for the Will County Board. I would like to make an amendment to add our county board office manager, Jackie Rogers, be included in that. Motion to amend. Thank you. Second. Previous Newquist. Second Hickey. All those in favor, please say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve as amended? Thank you. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? That motion will carry. Number 2, an ordinance amending designating ordinance to the Des Plaines River Valley Enterprise Zone. We have a first and a second. I see a hand raised, Member Trinier.
If I remember this correctly, what this does is eliminate sales tax?
I believe it eliminates sales tax on the building materials itself. Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah.
I'm getting a nod over here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there a previous? Newquist, second Trinier. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 3, amendment to the Des Plaines River Valley Enterprise Zone intergovernmental agreement. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Authorizing the Will County Executive to renew the Will County One-Stop Operator Agreement.
I do have a question.
Discussion, Member Trinier?
I guess I've never seen the word minute track in front of an entry before, so I just wondered if that was just some kind of weird quirky ministerial screw up.
Being Corky.
Okay. Because I know we're having problems with the
Yeah,
system.
I believe we're going to be changing over to Granicus in next month.
And now my iPad's doing something weird.
Yeah, with August agendas. Okay. Any other questions on that? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Number 5, authorizing the county executive to renew a contract with JJC Workforce Development for the WIOA Youth Occupational Training Program. Seconded by Richmond. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? That motion will carry. Authorizing the county executive to renew a contract with JJC Workforce Development for the Work Readiness Program. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Ordinance amending the Will County Code of Ordinances title, whatever that is. All right, Administration, Chapter 34, Agencies, Boards, and Commissions.
Second, Freeman.
Oh, no,
No, I got
Judy's good.
Oh, Jackie, she's the chair.
no, I just want to mention, Judy caught Board Member Ogala caught some corrections that need to be made. They're ministerial in nature, and we had kind of discussed at our last meeting on Tuesday that any of those going forward, we could just send them to staff and staff would make the corrections. County executive should be capitalized in one spot. The lettering should be capitalized in another, and then the emergency telephone system board, just, there was a snafu in one spot. These are all Scrivener's issues. I don't think there was anything else in this particular chapter, so I'm happy just to give this to Jackie and have her make the corrections unless you want to make a motion to amend it right here on the floor, which again, according to our meeting last week, we don't really have to, I mean, they can make those corrections. but
They can, but I missed that meeting
Yeah,
and no one saw this beforehand, so I did ask.
yeah. So if you want to
Mr.
make the
Mock.
motion, I just was.
We can
explaining.
leave it for Scrivener's errors. Chuck, I copied you, right?
Yeah, we can make all Scrivener's errors. They don't require, unless it's an error of some substance, we'll get it. We'll make we'll work with Phil Mock. We'll get the corrections done before it goes to printing.
Right, I just worked on this unfortunately yesterday, so that's why it's late in coming. And you guys have all the details in my email, so.
All right, very good. We need a second for previous roll. Thank you, Richmond. All those in favor for Chapter 34? Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Number 8, ordinance amending the Will County Code of Ordinances Administration, Chapter 35, County Nursing Home. Discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. The next one is the ordinance amending the Will County Code of Ordinances Title Administration, Chapter 36, Personnel Regulations.
You have to make a motion.
I got a motion, Trenier, seconded by Freeman. Is there a discussion? Mr. Richmond?
So if you go to 36.018, the last sentence, it talks about the top step increase of $200 under the contract is not actually a longevity pay. It's a cheaper way to provide an incentive for long-time employees to remain instead of percentage increase that would be greater and was something bargained for under the contracts. I think that's something that we need to look at as a county because there's some substantial dollars there. We went from $100 to $200 1 or 2 contracts ago. And this is for salaried employees. I know we can't touch the collective bargainings, but I think it's something that we should probably address for the salaried folks.
It's for the union contract.
It's for the union contracts they're under.
It is the union employees.
Oh, it is for the union employees too. So if you look at.
Hang on.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead,
If
Jim.
you look at that longevity pay, that's costing us about $750,000 annually. Based on the 2025 budget that I was looking at. So I think it's something that I just wanted everybody to be aware of. And we should look at striking that or, dealing with that. So.
Can I ask, is this the first time that you've noticed that? Was it not discussed at the ordinance ad hoc?
It was not.
Okay.
It was not discussed there. And what I've already started, Joe, on our 2026 budget, using our 2025 budget and doing some analysis. And that's where I pulled that from. So
Okay.
that statistic.
Okay. Oh, they know it.
Can you restate the,
36.018. It's the last sentence in that.
let me have Phil Mock jump in real quick. Maybe he can clarify some things.
Just so we're all aware, the section on longevity pay does not involve that $200.
No, that's what's in the contract.
That's not in it. What he's talking about is under the budgeting system, these $200 payments are included within longevity pay, but it's not involved in the wording of this provision that's in front of you. That longevity pay that's involved in the wording under this is only the smaller $2 amount ones. So in the budget, it looks bigger because this other money's added to it, but it has nothing to do with section 36018. I think he merely wants to let everybody know that when you're dealing with the contracts coming up, that's something you should look at. But it shouldn't really involve the language, because this language involves, after 3 years of service, you get a payment of $6, and the maximum payment's only $40 per month, which is different. So the language could pass the way it is for this. I just wanted everybody to know that.
Okay, I appreciate that.
So you said it as a lawyer. Thank you, Phil. I was looking at it as a business guy of $480 and then starting to extrapolate that and go through the budget. And now you're at $750,000. So. It's in the contract, but it's addressed as far as.
So and I'm just trying to communicate so that because it sounds like some are understanding and some aren't. So there are two different quote unquote longevity pays. There are two under the contract. There's one in your ordinance. The one under the ordinance that is also in the contract is the $2 per month, or $2, starts out at $2 per month and can go up to $40 a month. That is provided for both in the contracts and in the ordinance. There is also a longevity that was initially created when we were compressing steps. And so there were some people who were so far outside of the salary range, they were not getting any raises at all. They weren't even getting cost of living because they didn't get any raises until the steps caught up to them. And so that's when it was initially $100 a month and then turned into $200 a month. And now they want to expand them further. But if I'm understanding Member Richmond properly, he wants to address all of them as an expense and potentially get rid of all of them. Am I stating it accurately?
Yes, because I don't think
Okay.
we've ever looked at it as an aggregate of 3/4 of, if you go back and you look, and I'd have to go back, we've gone from like $400,000 or $500,000 to $750,000 in just the past 3-4 years. So
Yeah, and I think it's the $200 because
She accelerated it.
Right, it did not go away once those other salaries once the grid caught up with the salaries, it's been expanded. It went from $100 to $200. Now the union is proposing something else. But I don't want to get too much into the union contract because we should not be talking about collective bargaining in open meetings. So.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that, Jim. I got Member Ogala and then Ms. Williams.
So I just have a question then, Mary. So we have employees that are non-union and union employees. So the $2 a month, is that specifically only longevity, only after 3 years, only for non-union employees?
Effectively, yeah. I mean, I think it matches the contract for most of the union employees. The $200 is for people who are at the top of the scale.
Right, that one,
Yeah.
I understand the $200 when they're at the top of their step. I
Yeah.
understand that one. But I wasn't sure if you're a union employee and you're at the top of your step, do you get that in addition to the other money?
Yes, you do.
So they're getting two longevity pay. So,
Bless you.
so that's something to me, I think that it's two different things. Like one is you're at the top of your step, which I was when I worked at Panduit. you could get paid so much for a particular job, and then once you were at the top, you kind of were like stuck, unless you got a different job. The other one is after you work 3 years, you get longevity pay of $2 a month. Granted, it doesn't seem like a lot of money, but I don't know that, I mean, with all the other benefits that we provide our employees, I don't know that we should still consider looking at longevity pay after 3 years, getting it. 3 years isn't a lot of time. So maybe we look at changing the time from 3 years to 5 or 10 years or something like that, or just eliminating that additional. So if you're a union employee, you're getting whatever your pay is.
Well, let's talk about non-union. Let's
So
keep
if
the
you're a
union.
non-union employee,
Yeah.
you get your regular raise, throughout, at the end of every year, I guess. But if you've worked 3 years, you get this $2 a month starting after 3 years. So you start with $6 a month with a maximum of $40 a month for $480. It isn't that much money that should encourage anybody to stay. So my thought is, do we look at that and eliminate it entirely? Or do we say, you know what, 3 years isn't long enough, maybe we want to bump it up to 10 years? I don't know. I just wanted to bring that subject up because I think that we give great benefits to our employees, that this trivial amount of $6 or up to $40 a month isn't a lot of money, but it does add to the cost that we have to pay through our levy system. So
Before I move on, Jim, are you interested in bringing this discussion to a committee? Or I guess my question is, it has nothing, like, we can pass this ordinance as is right now, but if you would want to discuss it in the future, we can find a spot to bring this back.
That's what I kind of like, because what started me with this, when you start looking at longevity pay, in talking to some of the people I know on the HR side, they were like, it's usually after 10 years or something like that. And when I noticed it, we started at like 3 years, and then I started doing the math on adding up all the aggregate of in our budget, and I saw how it escalated over the past 3 or 4 years. And it just rang a bell with me, so I wanted to make sure I didn't know where to drop it in.
Yeah.
So
Let's find a spot to maybe have a further discussion on that item there. Additional comments? I got Member Williams.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we're doing this, that his question is answered correctly. So the $200 is just for topped out union employees, right? Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Then I have Member Trenier and then Member Newquist. I did not forget you over there in the corner. Oh, you good?
You kind of took care of it. You said, let's address this in another committee.
Yeah.
Because to me, this is about the ordinance.
Mhm.
If we make a change in another committee, we will change the ordinance.
Okay.
That's going to be our process going
Yeah.
forward, that things get done at the same
Sure.
time.
Okay. Member Newquist?
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the $200. This is only the $40 max per month. So I'm not sure why this longevity is even in our ordinances but is it because this isn't subject to a collective bargaining contract? Okay, but yet it does say that that upon the same terms and conditions as from time to time may be negotiated and enforced through the collective bargaining agreement. So it's basically saying where
So if the longevity were increased in the contract, it
We'd
would
have to
automatically
increase our
escalate
longevity.
this. It's never been, this longevity has never been increased.
Okay,
It's been the
thank you. I
same.
just wanted to clarify that.
So one other question too, Joan. I know that Phil, that Judy sent this over to you. In section 36.074, you list a bunch of elected officials, but not the county board.
Add the county board to it when all I
Yeah.
did was use what was
Well,
originally.
that's what I was just, can that just be done as a Scribner error then?
No,
No, I have to,
that's substantial.
Okay,
You'd have
all
to
right.
amend it. You could do it now.
Which chapter, Jim?
so 36.074.
Okay.
So under definitions, I'm sorry, let me get closer to the microphone, sorry.
So we do have a motion and a second. Do you want to make an amendment then? Yeah.
Making an amendment, yeah,
Okay.
to add in under elected officials, it says county executive auditor, recorder, sheriff, treasurer, circuit clerk, state's attorney, coroner, chief judge, superintendent of schools, and county board members.
All right.
Is-
You folks heard the amendment. Is there a second on the amendment? Ortiz? Previous roll on the amendment? Second Williams. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed to that?
Thank you. Jeff.
Motion carries. Do we have I guess I'm looking for we do have a first and second on the original motion. So okay. Okay. Thank you. Second Trenier. Previous Hickey. Second Richmond. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 10, ordinance amending the Will County Code of Ordinances, Administration, Chapter 38, Public Records. Discussion on 38. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Good job, Ad hoc Ordinance Committee, on that. Yes?
Mr. Speaker, we are moving, and just so, because everybody here wasn't at the ordinance committee meeting on Tuesday, we're going to move the July meeting to July 22nd. I'm guessing the chief of staff has spoken to you. And it has been suggested to me, and I am perfectly okay with it, in having 2 meetings a month for that committee, if you're okay with it.
I would leave that up to the committee members. If they're willing to put in the work, I would never decline that.
Because we'd like to move along.
Okay.
Like light reading material.
Okay. Well, Jackie,
I'll talk to the committee. but
if
I
you
want
talk to the committee and they don't have an issue with it, then we can set that up. Thank you for that. Okay, number 11, it will be at the very end. So there's no other new business. There's no request for the state's attorney's opinion. Does any committee chair want to do any reporting on any of their committees? Seeing none. Thank you. We do have some appointments. As far as the Lockport Cemetery Association, there were 4 names submitted. They are going to restructure their board. So they only want to provide 2 names to us this week or next week, Gerald Edelman and Ronald Liff. So I need a motion to approve the appointments by the county executive for Lockport Cemetery Association. All those in favor, please say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Approving the appointment by the county executive for Metra Commuter Rail Board, Brian Shanahan. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Is anyone from the public wishing to speak to the executive committee? Seeing none. Announcements by chair. This just came to mind, and I want to start off with an apology. I know I missed Mother's Day, but I just want to wish. So I'll start with saying happy belated Mother's Day to everyone. But I do want to hope everybody enjoys Father's Day. I know me personally, it's my favorite day of the year. It's something that makes me the very proudest, the person that I can be. So happy Mother's Day and happy Father's Day to everyone as well. We have no need for executive session. So I'd like to ask for a motion to amend the county board agenda to add all items approved out of this executive committee today. Second Freeman, previous Richmond, second Hickey. All those in favor, please say aye. Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Now we need a motion to approve the county board agenda as amended. And previous, seconded by Richmond. All those in favor, please say aye. Anyone opposed? That motion will carry. Our next scheduled meeting is July 10th, 2025, and we will not adjourn here. If you guys can stay, they're part of the agenda. We'll just do a bus presentation. And as soon as we're done, we'll just adjourn outside. So we'll see you there. Yeah. Awesome meeting so far.